Welcome to the video presentation of our group's case assignment on VF Brands' global supply chain strategy. This presentation is divided into 5 parts as shown here, similarly to our case assignment essay. The first part will focus on the introduction of the company. The second part is about outsourcing in the apparel industry. The third is about VF Brands outsourcing. The fourth part is about the recommended relationship management while applying portfolio analysis. And finally, as the fifth part, we have a conclusion of our work. The case report is based on Harvard Business School's case text, VF Brands Global Supply Chain Strategy. The case text focuses on VF Brands and why and how it executed outsourcing of different operations during the years 2004 to 2009. In this report, we are going to reflect the outsourcing decisions of companies in the apparel industry, emphasis on VF Brands. We are going to present our solutions to the questions about the case and analyze the reasons and consequences of outsourcing in the apparel industry. In the apparel industry, flexibility and optimizing costs are important factors of competitiveness. Outsourcing is usually more profitable than internal manufacturing due to high competition in the industry. The garment production is labor-intensive and offers few scale advantages. For most companies in the apparel industry, the main target is that the costs of production are as low as possible. This results in the manufacturing of garments being transformed to countries where there is cheap labor available. This often means Asian or South American countries where there is a lot of people moving from the countryside to the cities. It is then economically profitable for companies to use these suppliers since the costs are a lot less than what they would be in the US or Europe. Many of the companies in the apparel industry do not produce only one product, but a wide range of products. If a company has a complex product line, they need different types of infrastructures to produce all the products they have. In this case, it can be wise to manufacture different products in different factories when companies can benefit from already existing infrastructure instead of buying all the expensive new machines themselves. Along with the price of labor and infrastructure, also transportation is a thing to be considered when trying to minimize the costs of production. The quotas for importing can make importing from certain countries more expensive than others. That is why it is also less risky to have suppliers scattered geographically, for it makes easy to shift production from one place to another in case of a possible change in tariffs and quotas. It is also logistically more efficient to have as logical supply chain as possible, meaning that as many of the steps of the production as possible could be done in the same country or area. In the case of VF Brands, the pressure for outsourcing their operations came when they started acquiring other brands like North Face, Vans, and Eastpeak. These brands were so-called lifestyle brands and produced a lot more than just jeans and denim wear that VF Brands was used to producing. In order to be able to produce everything from footwear to backpacks, VF had to find new manufacturers who had the suitable infrastructure for that. It was no more efficient to manufacture everything internally, so the company expanded its outsourcing to Europe and Asia. Over time, VF Brands acquired a lot more brands from around the world. VF wanted to preserve the organizational cultures and unique brand identities of the company, so they kept the locations and the designers of the brands the same than before the acquisition. As VF then had designers and brands located in the US and Europe, and manufacturers everywhere from Nicaragua to India, it had become a widely scattered company. Like many other companies in the industry, also VF emphasized flexibility. Now with brands, manufacturers, and operations widespread, it would invest on an efficient supply chain where products were sourced near where they would be sold. It was also important to be able to adjust the supply to answer the demand. Before third-way partnership strategy, VF Brands used to be a jeans company having its own factories and all the knowledge to themselves. However, there was plenty of acquisition, and when VF brands started working with new brands and new kinds of products, like lifestyle products, in addition to jeans. Many of these brands had independent external suppliers, so there was a drastic shift towards more outsourced products of the production of the products. Third way partnership was meant to be a halfway point between full integration and traditional outsourcing. This meant that VF brands would still be using external suppliers, but they would work more closely with them to build trust and reliability, and that way get some of the benefits of in house production and some of the ones from external suppliers. By working this way, VF brands had no need to buy more own factories to get some of the benefits of having its own factories and creating control over the supply chain. Basically, what changed when shifting to third way partnership was the VF brand started to build long time contracts with suppliers. This meant that instead of ordering a certain number of products for one season, they did a years long commitment on certain volume. In third way partnerships, VF brands offers their knowledgeable engineers without change to the supplier to facilitate the improvement. In addition, VF brands also make some investments in specialized equipment and capital when necessary. Moreover, VF Brands uses its purchasing capacity to help the supplier to produce fabric and other raw materials on a discounted price and will buy back any unused fabric or raw materials. In return, the supplier agrees to set up production lines dedicated to VF Brands products and will invest not only on buildings and machines but also on staff and logistics. Working this way is beneficial for both VF Brands and the supplier. Third way partnership leads to cheaper cost and higher profit per unit compared to own factories, and around the same cost and profit per unit than with traditional outsourcing suppliers. True partnership with more trust and reliability resulted in sharing more information, and thus VF brands had more knowledge about the production, costs, inventory, and capacity, for example. This knowledge could be used to improve processes and decrease production costs. Knowing that the information shared will not be used to make better products for competitors made it possible using knowledge as a competitive advantage. Overall, this led to more efficient communication, process, supply chain, and cost structure. From a supplier point of view, they had more safe future with a commitment on certain volume over the years, more knowledge on improving the process, and some specialized equipment offered by VF brands. Collaborative partnership relationships are a good way for a business to gain advantages that could be more difficult or even impossible to reach when operating solely by itself. The key concept behind collaborative relationships and the benefits gained from them is simple. Organizations should not try to expertise in everything by themselves, but instead profit from other companies' existing knowledge and skills as well as financial and human resources. On the theoretical viewpoint, the three basic options for partnership are cooperation, coordination, and collaboration. Especially in comparison to the other two, collaboration offers many desirable benefits. Collaborative companies have a more durable and pervasive relationship. The companies commit to shared goals and have the highest intensity of the three options. Kralich's portfolio analysis introduces five key ideas. Companies must have a supply strategy, on purchasing, not only focus purchasing on making deals. Different categories require different strategies. Risk needs to be addressed as well as spend, cost, and value. Companies should consider supplier markets instead of single suppliers and categories. And companies should consider purchasing strategically by the people in lead, considering the total value chain and risk. Also, Rasmus Ulsen and Lisa Elram developed a portfolio approach to assist managing different kinds of supplier relationships. The portfolio model presents a three-step approach to analyze a company's supplier relationship. The first step of the three-step approach is to analyze the company's purchases by the factors influencing the strategic importance of the purchase and by the factors describing the difficulty of managing the purchase situation. When analyzing VF brands, the core competences include, for example, the design of the products and the management of the supply chains. According to Ulsen and Elram, the economic factors describe the economic importance of the purchase in terms of the dollar value and the impact on the company's profits. The second part focuses on analyzing the supplier relationships. It prevents an analysis of supplier relationships by categorizing the supplier by the relative supplier attractiveness and the strength of the relationship between the buyer and the supplier. The relative supplier attractiveness is estimating using factors such as financial and economic factors, performance factors, technological factors, and organizational, cultural, and strategic factors. These factors influence on the company's decisions to choose a specific supplier. VF is a company with a lot of different types of brands, which results in a widely scattered range of suppliers. VF has already made fundamental changes in its sourcing of products by shifting from more internal manufacturing to outsourcing and then to third way sourcing. VF owns a wide variety of brands as well as manufacture, which includes a mix of internal plants, outsourcing, and third way sourcing, which makes it crucial to aim special focus to efficient supply management and strategic profitability of suppliers. Flexibility and optimization of cost are crucial competitive factors in the apparel industry, and this often makes outsourcing the optimal way of working. To form an effective action plan based on different portfolio approaches, VF should evaluate and categorize its suppliers based on competence, image, and economic factors, and the level of importance of the particular purchase. Focus should be aimed on the core competences. Design and product management are the core of VF, while other more general purchases can be standardized. Products must be separated into the matrix categories based on their role in the supply chains, and actions regarding supplier selection must be made accordingly to gain maximum profit and efficiency. Focus should be aimed to building stronger long-term relationships with those suppliers that reduce products with the highest importance. Inefficient suppliers should gradually be substituted with ones that are more suitable for VF's supply chain, and unattractive suppliers should be replaced. Relationships with attractive existing suppliers should be strengthened while developing a specialized action plan. The main focus for VF should be on maintaining close relationships, optimizing the supplier base according to manufacturing needs, and improving business actions to be as flexible and cost effective as possible.